I say, Ron, the guy's a loser. I'll see you.
Loser.
Yeah.
Oh, sir, I saw it. Some angry member of the kitchen staff. Did you not tip them? Oh, the terrorists, they ran that way. It was a run by fruiting. I'll get them, sir. Don't worry.
This is Our Revised Reality. I'm your host, Jacobian. This week featuring special guest, Pierce Brosnan. Is 007 immune from the symptoms of the dreaded update? In this thrilling episode, we're about to find out. The film is 1993's Mrs. Doubtfire. The line used to be, "It was a drive-by fruiting." In current reality is now, "It was a run-by fruiting," transforming into a vastly inferior punchline, dumbing it down, making it overly precise, and not painting nearly as funny a picture in your mind as before. When presenting this to others, I've had to deal with comments like, "They're at a pool, it wouldn't make sense to say drive-by." It's called a joke, people. It's not supposed to make literal sense. It's supposed to be funny. Drive-by fruiting was a funnier line. This was during the 90s when drive-bys were unfortunately becoming more of a thing. The term was used quite a bit, which made the joke quite fitting for the time. My brain didn't fill in what I wanted or expected to hear. I didn't modify the punchline later when hanging out with friends from the hood and conflate the two. It was those specific words, drive-by fruiting, distinctly heard directly from that scene, plain and simple. Run-by fruiting is awkward and not even mildly amusing. It strips away the exaggerated comedic element, making it too literal. When has there ever been a run-by anything? It's absolutely jarring, completely ruins the joke. For those who've only known it as run-by, I get that's been your experience with the film. How and why that is, I can't explain. I just know it wasn't that way for myself and others. And I know there's not a conventional answer to explain it away. I urge you to better understand the Mandela Effect as a whole and realize that just as certain as you are about experiencing a movie, song, logo, etc., there are others who experience it just as clearly in an alternative way that has now somehow become erased from all corners of reality. To those who say, "Prove it," it's not like we can simply find some old copy of the song or movie the previous way. If we could, then it would cease to be a Mandela Effect. It would be mystery solved and we'd be done with it. When trying to make our case, we're burdened with the unusual task of trying to dig up compelling evidence on something that literally no longer exists. That's where reality residue comes in. Some of it is better than others. I think I've gathered some good ones. Let's go over them. Yarn maker Shirley Bryan is selling an attractive-looking product labeled, "It was a drive-by fruiting," making sure to point out the reference to Mrs. Doubtfire. Here's a band by the name of Mr. Doubtfire. Take a look at what they named one of their albums. Drive-by fruiting. Smashed lime and all. Then there's this lady who has a radio show in Salt Lake City. Familiar enough with the line drive-by fruiting to make it the headline to her post, citing the cast's 25-year reunion. Which leads me nicely into the finale. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Our special guest, Mr. Pierce Brosnan. Here we find him seated at the table with his fellow cast members for the Mrs. Doubtfire reunion, where they just so happen to be reminiscing about the very scene in question. Let's listen in.
So many different, every time he had something different.
And it was constant. It was just nonstop.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Wow.
The pool scene too, yeah, just so many different, yeah.
Oh, the pool scene really hits me on the head with a line. Yes. I thought, my God, we're going to be here all day. It's going to be exhausting.
The run-by fruiting.
The drive-by fruiting. Yes. And I go up and I order the drink. I'm walking away with the drinks. Take one, it went by my ear. Take two, it just hit me. Boink, on the back of the head. That was the print.
Wait, what's that, Pierce? What did you say?
The run-by fruiting.
The drive-by fruiting. Yes.
Another great one. Let's not let the significance of this slip by. Not only does he say drive-by fruiting, he pauses mid-sentence, then shifts gear to correct the interviewer, reciting the line just as we remember. Can't express enough how much I love this. What's the excuse here, deniers? Did he suffer traumatic brain injury from the lime? If so, he must be dealing with permanent damage, because here he doubles down with a statement on his official Instagram. In memory of Robin Williams posting, "I remember this day like it was yesterday. It was a San Francisco morning on the set of Mrs.Doubtfire, a drive-by fruiting. Pierce doesn't strike me as the kind of guy who came up from the mean streets of anywhere that he'd so suddenly have drive-bys on his mind. I for one wonder why he's so consistent with recounting this thing precisely the same way as us Mandela-affected crazies, and why we've got bands and yarn makers inspired to do the same. Oh, I know, because it's what used to be said in a damn movie. It baffles me daily how this stuff can be going on, with most of the world none the wiser. Resist the updates, people. Be aware of your surroundings. We'll speak again soon.